All right, hold on. Hold on, folks. Oh, okay. Back at it. There we go. Haha. Everything's working. Cool. Back in the studio. It's been a while. It seems like a while. It's been a couple of weeks anyway, right? Or a week. I don't know. Time goes by so fast these days as you get older. Time flies. All right, let me see. Make sure all my stuff is all working here. That looks okay. That looks okay. And maybe push that. Let everybody know that this is live. And I think we are January 27th, if you can believe that. Yeah. All right. We're good there. We're good there. Everybody's good. 360. Yeah. Joe Hervey, I got a broadcast from this studio here at 360 right now because the internet connection out here is pretty shitty. So if I try to push it past that, I could probably go a little higher, but I don't want to risk it. So staying at that until we get the internet connection issue fixed. So I don't know when that will be, but anyway. And the other thing would happen if I would try to push it at 720, I would be peaking my upload speed, and it would be a bad experience for you guys at the other end. It would probably buffer and all this other stuff. So we're gonna play it safe for a little while until the internet companies get off their arses and get me some connection speeds that is of 2020 and not 1999, which it probably is, believe it or not. So everything's good. All right. So how's everybody been? It's been a week or so since we've done the live show. I did a live broadcast from NAMM on the Sunday just before I left. I left on Monday, and I did a quick. It was an hour or something plus live stream from my hotel room. So we went over a few little things. I was so tired that night too, though. But anyway, it is what it is. And I would have done a show last week, but I flew in last week and I got home at midnight by the time I got here. And then I had to get up at 5 in the morning to go to work that day or Tuesday. And I was still in California time. So as you can imagine, it was like I was up at 2 a.m. in my clock as far as that was going. So I had quite the day on Tuesday. I had a full production to do at work and everything. And yeah, after that day was done, I was I was tired. Let's put it that way. So let's go to the chat real quick. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, things that have happened during the NAMM show and my thoughts on it and my I guess my opinions on certain things. If you're interested in knowing of any of that stuff, stick around. All right, Ben Coombs, first in house. How are you, Ben? I hung out with Ben a lot at NAMM. Him and JJ and Aaron and Michael Smith. Geez, so many people. I met so many people. And we had a blast. It was a lot of fun. Hank Hill, what's going on, Hank? CN 8800, John, what's going on, John? Nice to see you. Hopefully you're not buried in snow out there in the East Coast. Joe Hervey. Joe Hervey's got 195 subs, so if you guys can go over there and throw him a quick sub to get him to 200, that would be great, because I know he's probably, it's going to drive him nuts until he gets to that 200. When you're that close to anything, I just passed 400 this week, and when I was at that 395 or whatever, I was like, oh, come on, just give me a couple more. Just get me over that 400. It's a number thing. It doesn't mean anything to me, but it's just when I look at my channel, it's nice to have that when you're so close to go over. It's like I picked up, in the last 28 days, I picked up about 70 subs. Can you believe it? So that's been going well. And I'm sure I picked up a lot during NAMM because I posted so much. I think in total for my NAMM videos, I must have posted at least 26, 27 videos. So that's a lot of production in 1 week. So I think that got me some traction and got me some subs. So Joe, if you want to climb your sub count, you've got to post some stuff, brother. There you go. That's my 2 cents on that. Thrash Metal, what's going on? Yeah, post some riffs, Joe. You want to get subs, you got to post content. That's how she works. Guitarist, what's going on? Gary Tholander's in the house. Gary, how's it going? I watched a couple of live streams that Gary was doing with his buddy Metalhead Hippie. A lot of fun. Really enjoy those. Keep up the great work. And let's see, Brad Egan, how's it going? Brad, I hope you're doing well. I don't know, I think you were just about ready to move into your new house, so I hope you are. And Brad is supposed to be building a little bit of a studio in his new house, so that'll be cool to see how that all comes together. That'll be very cool. Yep, the song you heard during the live stream starting soon screen was a song I wrote. Can you believe 15 years ago? That's crazy when you think about it. So yeah, my band Smeer, we put out our first album in 2003, I think. Yeah, it would have been about that, and that was a song that was on that album. So it was a pretty long song, actually. I looked at when I was going through the library of stuff to play tonight. I saw that one. It's almost 6 minutes, but it was a great. I loved doing that song because I put a lot more bass playing in there because I was a bass player, so I was able to to interject a lot more bass passages and things of that nature, and it was pretty heavy too. So that's what you heard in the little intro or whatever it was. Chicken Guitars, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. I know you were sick there for a few days last week or the week before. Hope you're getting over all that. I know a lot of people are sick these days. But yeah, take it easy with that. I was okay. I didn't get NAMM like a lot of people seem to have contracted, I guess you should say. And I keep saying my secret is don't eat at the venue. So that's one thing I didn't do. I always had my little keto bar during the day because I don't eat lunch. So I had my breakfast at the hotel, and then I was good until dinner. Just, had some water and one of those keto bars during the day, and I was good. So I didn't do that. I got enough sleep, was considering what it was, and I didn't get hammered or anything like that. So if you do all that, I think you can escape some of that NAMM stuff, because if you do none of that and you eat junk all day, then you go out at night and you party till 2, 3 a.m. and then you get drunk and you get up the next day, you do that, your body just can't recover. And then you're going to touch a few things, you're going to pick up the germs, and you're history at that point. So I was lucky in that. So I'm glad that I escaped that part of it, because I know some people I've seen online are pretty sick. So who else we've got? I know I saw a couple. Lars Guitars, what's going on, Lars? Janice Layla's in the house. Yeah, we got a bunch of people. Brad Miller, yeah, he's not home yet. He's still driving. That's Brad for you. Tom Harhai, I'm not sure. The Great, what is that? Great Van Zini. Good afternoon. It's a new name. And if you're not subbed to the channel, go ahead and give me a quick sub. That would be awesome. Let's see who else we got in here. And if you do have a question for me, tag me in the chat, because that way I'll see it, because I'm very bad when I'm doing this live and I'm trying to follow the chat and answer questions. So keep that in mind if you do have a specific question for me. Dale Palmer, how are you? Who else is in here? I think I've got everybody. Rick Hefner's in the house. How's it going, Rick? And on 36 Solo, great vids. Thank you, man. Yeah, I've got a lot of positive feedback from all the videos I posted from NAMM. I wasn't expecting to do that many videos, actually, but I did a few, and then I got, that little rig I brought with me worked out really great. It was nice and portable, easy to set up. I had 2 mics. I had one for myself and whoever I was interviewing if I was doing an interview, so we could get good audio. So that worked out, super cool. So as I got going, I was like, okay, let me just go do this one. Let me go. And then some opportunities started to come up as I'm, going through the booth and talking to people and stuff. So as soon as I got opportunities to actually interview like top guys and stuff, I took it. I was a little nervous, but I said, what the hell? I'm here. Might as well give it a shot. So thank you for the great feedback on that. That's much appreciated. Okay, I think I've got everybody. I hope. Paul Lou, how's it going, Paul? You ordered a new Epiphone. We're going to talk about the Epiphones tonight. I was quite impressed with the Epiphones, to be honest with you. So congratulations on that, Paul Lou. That's a great guitar. Okay. Jamal's in the house. Bobby. Oh my God, we got a bunch more people. Bobby Lopez, Jamal, how's it going? Very cool. Just noticed the shirt. Yeah, me and Ben got these at the same time. There's a Reverend booth. I don't know if you guys can see it. There it is. Pretty cool. Got a few shirts while I was at NAMM. Got some Gibson stuff, obviously. Got about 3 or 4 shirts from Gibson. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm at the bottom now, I hope. Bobby Lopez, yeah, I saw Bobby there. Cool. Zach Thong, Zach, how's it going? Jamal says you had some of the best quality NAMM videos on. Really? Well, I don't know if they were the best quality videos. I tried my best, and if it's kind of funny when you see some of these bigger channels running around. They've got teams of people, and they've got all this gear, and you got one guy doing audio, one guy doing video, one guy doing the interviews and stuff, and they're just going at it, and it's like, wow, pretty impressive. And then you're walking around one man, just your little GoPro and your mic's ready to go whenever you get an opportunity to talk to somebody and do interviews. So. But yeah, I think it came out well, and it was a good experience. So future shows, I'm trying to do Summer NAMM. I don't know if that'll happen yet. That's still in the works. So, do shows like that and be able to meet some of the people in the industry and bring you some content outside of my, little world here, which is always a good thing. So why don't we get into talking about NAMM and how that went? We might as well. We've gotten through saying hi to everybody, I think. So yeah, it was a great experience. I took off on Wednesday morning. I landed in LA on Wednesday afternoon around 1:00. Took me about 45 minutes after I got the Uber and got to Anaheim to my hotel room. And so I got there mid-afternoon, checked into the hotel. As I'm checking in, which is kind of weird, the guy behind me, as I'm checking in, there's other people staying there, obviously, that were going to the conference. I turned around, I recognized the voice, and it was Eddie Trunk. Like, oh my God, what are you doing here at this hotel, right? I thought he would be, because I was staying a little bit outside of not out, about 15 minutes away from the conference center. But anyway, it was pretty cool to see him and talk to him a little bit. And what I wasn't aware of, because as I went up to my room and checked in and did all that stuff, and then I wanted to go to the conference center to pick up my badge on Wednesday afternoon. The show wasn't on yet, but you could still get your badge. But as I'm going out of the hotel, I'm seeing all these guys, long hair and everything, and they're bringing in Marshalls and amp pegs, and I'm like, what the hell's going on at this hotel tonight? Because I didn't know, right? So apparently they were having some sort of awards or something. It was called the Heavy Metal Awards, but I didn't find that out until I left. So I left the hotel and I went back to the convention center to get the badges and stuff. And then that's when I ran into Ben and JJ and Aaron for, at first I was just walking around, got the badge, and then we started talking, and then we started meeting other people, and I just stayed at the conference center. Then I found out, and also Gibson was having their not the big party that I'll talk about, that party that came up on Thursday, but their I guess, NAMM party, which was in their booth, that, you could go up and, you got a pass or whatever, and you could go in and see all the guitars they were introducing, and they had some people on stage, and they had some food and some beer and all that stuff. So I ended up doing that on Wednesday night with Ben and everybody. So that was a blast. And, there's so many people, like, you're walking around, you got, Faulkner, Richie Faulkner or whatever is, what's his name? The guy from Judas Priest is standing right next to me, and Ben says, we thought it was John 5 for some reason, but no, it was Faulkner, and he's standing there with Rick Nielsen, Cheap Trick, and we've got, it's insane, the people that you just see walking around. They're just like, they're all there for Gibson, right? So that was pretty cool, and I hung out there. I think I left there around, I don't know, probably after 10 or so. I wanted to get back to the hotel and get some sleep, so that the show started the next day. So I wanted to get back. But when I got back to the hotel, I see some guys coming out and stuff, and a guy was carrying a guitar, and I said, "Oh, how was the show and everything?" And it was like Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, all these people they played at that night at that heavy metal awards thing at my hotel. So having known that, I would have probably stayed there and tried to get a pass to get into that show, because that would have been really cool. But apparently they filmed everything, and it's going to be coming out, I think. I don't know if it's going to be on YouTube or what it's going to be, but it's supposed to be really, really good. So after I spoke to some people that were there, they told me, yeah, it was a great show. So that's the thing at NAMM. There's so many things going on at night and different events. Unless you really have your schedule, like, everything ahead of time, like what's going on where, it's hard to keep track. Like I said, I was staying at that hotel. If I would have known, I would have probably tried to attend that. And so Thursday I woke up, went to the show, and it was like massive. It was quite overwhelming, to be honest with you, because there's so much stuff to see. And just walked around. I went to I got invited to a Line 6 pre-release just before NAMM started. I think it opened at 10, so around 9 o'clock I went to the Line 6. They were in another hotel. They had their own room, and Yamaha had their own room and stuff. So I was able to go there and sit on a pre-news conference thing where they were introducing the new product, Pod Go, and I'll show you that in a little bit here. So I got to see that, the release of that, and they talked about the new product and what it was all about, and I got a chance to interview one of the guys that the builders and the people that work on this stuff. And I put that video up, so if you're curious to see what that's all about, he goes over the unit and tells us what's in it and how it works. So then I went to the show and did a bunch of stuff, just walked around. I spent a lot of time on the show floor trying to figure out where everything was. The first day was more to try to get my bearings around where everything was and what I really wanted to concentrate on as far as videos, what I wanted to do with videos. I wasn't really sure, but I knew I wanted to cover a lot of Gibson stuff, but other stuff I wasn't really sure. So I kind of walked around and got my bearings around that place. So that was cool that day. And then Thursday night was the big Gibson party at this place called The Grove. It's a big, it's about a 4,000, it's not even seats. It's like a big bar, and they have a big floor. It's about 4,000 people that it holds, but it's a nice concert hall, I would say. And we didn't really know who was performing. I attended this same event at NAMM, at Summer NAMM in Nashville, which was a smaller place, still really cool. And I was, blown away by the production that Gibson put on for that show. But this one was like over the top. I mean, more than what I expected. You're sitting there and then the show starts, and there's food everywhere. So you can get food, you get free drinks, everything, right? So it was like really cool to be invited to that event. And as I'm standing there waiting for the show to start, they announced John Stamos as the host or whatever. So he comes out and he's pretend he's playing guitar. It's like a big comedy thing. And, gives an introduction of the show and all this stuff. Then he starts to list off some of the performers that were going to be performing that night. And I'm like, no, this must be part of his act or something. So he names, Don Felder from the Eagles. Then he names Billy Gibbons and James Nichols, Rick Nelson, and then Slash. All these people were performing that same night at this event. And it was, so one after the other, they were putting up these artists that were coming up doing a song or two, and it was just blowing me away. And then they brought up one band that I'm just starting to get into. I'm not really I just started recently, as a Hailstorm, because I really think that singer is amazing, Lizzie Hale. And lo and behold, she walks out on stage to do a song, and she's playing with Richie Faulkner, and Kenny Aronoff was the drummer, and all star band, and she's up there playing their hit song. It was just insane, and she just blew it away, man. For her to sing that live the way she did, I was blown away. And just the fact that I was just starting to get into that band, to see her live there was pretty cool. But then, yeah, the whole night was just spectacular. I thought, like, really, really, really high end stuff, and the guitar sound was amazing. Billy Gibbons was just insane. He was playing those Magnatone amps. He had them nice and cranked, and you could hear every note. It was just really, really good. But I'm going to tell you right now that the best guitarist of NAMM that I saw during the whole week, and I mean, I saw Slash, Billy Gibbons, Phil X, I mean, tons of people, was Jared James Nichols. I mean, the guy, if you're not familiar with this guy, and I know the video, I posted a video of him playing at that event, and I'm kind of a little bit far back, and you're getting the video from the phone and the sound from the phone, so it doesn't do it justice as what you were there. So if you are curious about this guy, just after the show or whatever, when you're browsing YouTube or whatever, just type in his name, Jared James Nichols, and watch some of his content or some of his videos online. You're going to be blown away. This guy doesn't even play with a pick. He plays everything with his fingers, thumb, whatever. And it's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. And to see him live doing the stuff he was doing, I'm telling you, the video doesn't do it justice. Like, I've had a few people comment that, he was good and stuff, but they couldn't really see him because he was a little farther, and I wasn't using a real big camera or anything. I was using a phone. But I'll tell you that, for me, like, trust me, go check this guy out if you haven't checked him out. And he's playing a guitar that really caught my attention at Summer NAMM. He's got a signature Epiphone guitar, the Jared James Nichols guitar. It's a 1P90 Epiphone Les Paul. It's like a flat black with the white binding, like a custom almost. It is beautiful. So I played that at Summer NAMM, and I've been thinking of that guitar ever since. And then I went to Winter NAMM just a couple of weeks ago, and there it was again. I picked it up again. I'm like, I'm sold on this. I need to get this guitar. So that's what I'm on the hunt for right now. Is I'll probably be getting one of those. No stores in my area have it in stock, so I'll probably have to order it. And yeah, and I mean, for the price, I think it's $699 US. So it's under $1,000, and I'm telling you, it's worth every penny of that, because it is built. It's a Seymour Duncan P90 in there. The fretwork, it's an ebony board. It's really, really nice guitar. So that was Thursday. Let me go back to the chat to see if I missed anybody here. Dale says you got to see some great musicians. Yeah, I'm telling you, the night was insane. To see one or two of these people in a concert or whatever would be just amazing. To see the lineup that we saw that night in a 2.5 hour span, and playing some of the classic songs, it was just, I never thought that would happen. It was like, wow, unbelievable. Don Felder and Slash together playing, and he's playing a double neck, and they're playing Hotel California, and Slash is playing part of the solo with them. It was just unbelievable. And I tried to post that video, by the way, of them doing Hotel California, but YouTube blocked it right away, so I took it down. I think anything with the Eagles or AC/DC or something like that, you're not going to be able to post that. So it is what it is. Brian S. There's Brian S. How's it going? And if you're not subbed to Brian S. and Dave R's live wires on YouTube, definitely go do that, because they put on a great show every Wednesday night. They put a lot of work into that show, and I think that they deserve a lot more subs than they currently have. I think they're around the 200 mark or whatever, but I think all of our community watches that show. So if you haven't subbed to them, definitely sub. Or you might think you're subbed and you're not. You might be subbed to Brian S. You might be subbed to Dave R., but not the live wires or whatever. Just double check that and make sure you're subbed for their sake, because they put a lot of work into that show. Let me just go back here, just make sure I'm not missing anything, and I'll carry on with my stories. It's story time. Okay. Eagles got me a strike, Paul Lou. Yeah, I know. You can't post anything of the Eagles, and I didn't get a strike or anything when I posted it because I didn't make it public right away. I had scheduled it to come out like in a few hours or the next day, and as soon as it went up, I got the email from YouTube saying this is blocked in certain countries and blah blah blah. So as soon as I saw that, I just went in and I deleted from the channel, so I didn't want to risk it. But yeah, I wouldn't post anything that has Eagles, especially the Eagles. For some reason, they don't want anything to do with copyright stuff. There's live wires in the chat, so if you just click on their name, live wires, and go sub to them because I think they deserve that. Phil Mosley, how's it going? Phil should be going on at 9 tonight, and then we've got Ben at 8 right after me, so we've got a full night of YouTubers. James Severin, how's it going, James? I see James in other chats all the time. So yeah, that was Thursday night, and that was insane enough. So I got back to my hotel, and then I went to bed and all that, and then next day I got up, ready to go, got back to the show. What did we do on Friday? I met up with some people on Friday and just walked the show and checked out a whole bunch of products and regular stuff. Friday night I went to a Line 6 party. They had, Line 6 kind of, they were announcing some new stuff coming as far as software for the Helix, and they had a little get together for some people they invited. So I got invited to that, which was awesome. So I spent a few hours there, and after that I was pretty tired, so I just went back to my hotel. It was probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere around there. And that was that. And then Saturday, went back to the show, did some videos during the day. And then Saturday night, I wasn't sure what I was doing Saturday night. I still hadn't decided, but there was as most of you know, I'm very much into motocross and motorcycles in general. And they had the big race there at Anaheim Stadium that night. And I said, I can't miss this because when am I ever going to be back in Anaheim at the same time they're having this great motorcycle race? And for those who know anything about motocross, Anaheim is like the birthplace of that sport. So it's a huge event when it comes to Anaheim. So I went on my phone after the day was done. I got back to my hotel, got something to eat, went on my phone, ordered a ticket. I was able to get a pretty good ticket, and off I went, and I made it right on time. Got there, they were starting in like 15 minutes. The opening ceremony started and stuff, and I was sitting there the whole time just in awe of actually just being there, because it's a pretty special place to see a race, and you see it on TV. Like, I've watched it all my life, and I've saw it on TV so many times. To be sitting there that night and just experiencing it was pretty special to me. And I know some people think, well, that's not a big deal, but to me it was a pretty big deal. So that's what I ended up doing on Saturday night, and I had a blast. After that was done, right next to the stadium is where Gibson had their big party, the Grove, right, on Thursday. But on Saturday night, it was a Schecter party, and I had tickets to that, and Black Label Society was playing there. So as I got out of the stadium from the race, I walked over to the Grove, which was just next door, and I was going to go see Black Label Society, but there was a huge lineup, and I'm like, Jesus, there's a lineup that big, and this is 10 o'clock, so it's already started. At 8 o'clock it started, and there's other bands playing that night. So I'm assuming there's 2 or 3 bands that have already played, and there's a big lineup outside. So they're probably they're only letting so many people in, so they might have been at capacity, and they were just letting people in as people were leaving. So I didn't feel like standing in line there and not even knowing if I was going to get in. Plus I had a full day scheduled on Sunday that I had booked some interviews. Like, one was Dave Friedman and stuff. And Dave Friedman interview was first thing when it opened, NAMM, at 10 a.m. So I said, screw this, I'm just going to go back to the hotel and get some sleep, and then next day I'll be ready to go. So that's what I did. But I would have went in if there was no lineup. I would have probably gone to see Black Label Society, and that would have been cool. Let me see. Did I miss anything here while I'm just jabbering away? Brian S. says you should go to Indy. Yeah, I would love to go. I would love to go to Indy, to the Indies races. Yeah. but I don't know if I'll ever be there at the same. It's to be at that place at the same time. It's like everything has to work out. Cool. All right, I think I've got everybody here. So yes, so Sunday was really the day that I got so many interviews. Sunday is the last day at NAMM. A little bit quieter. Still a lot of people, believe it or not. It was still a lot of people. But I had run into Dave Friedman on Saturday, and he was completely busy running around and stuff. But I did get a chance to talk to him, and I said I'd love to do a quick interview with you and have a look at your new products and stuff. So he was really nice about it. He said, yeah, definitely, let's do it. And he took out his phone, put my name in his phone, so he had it, and he put it in his calendar for 10 a.m. Sunday. So my slot was booked to do an interview with him. I found that pretty nice for a guy of you know, Dave is known throughout the industry. He's a legend. To even give me the time of day, as far as, you know, who's this guy? He's got, 400 subs. He's not, to give me that time was pretty special. So I didn't want to screw that one up. So I got there on time. He was a few minutes late because he was, running around. Obviously, he gets stopped everywhere he goes to talk and to, shake hands or whatever. So when he got there, he saw me right away and came up to me and said, yeah, we're good to go. And then I said, yeah, let's do it. So I went and we did a quick interview. And believe it or not, that's the video that's getting me the most hits right now as far as views. It's gotten, in only a few days, it had about 2,000 views. And 2,000 views for my videos is pretty good, especially in that short time frame. So I'm very happy I stuck with, because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to do that. When I talked to him on Saturday, I'm like, you know what, who am I? And should I really do that? Do I even know what I'm doing? Right? I'm not an interviewer. I'm just, a guy that likes gear and likes music. And, so I woke up that morning and I just told myself, you know what, screw it. It doesn't matter what happens. Go do it. Once you do it. You'll be past that. And moving forward, the others will be easier as you do it. In anything you do, this stuff, being in front of a camera, even the first time you do it, is very awkward, and you feel very, you're not so sure of yourself. And then you do one and get a little better, do two, get a little better, and get more comfortable. Same thing with these interviews. So after I got him done, I was like, okay, I did it, and I felt more confident. So then I went up to the Gibson booth and I talked to Al John. I got a great video with Al John. Walk through the whole line of Epiphones, the acoustics, the Kramer. So that turned out to be a really popular video as well with Aljon. And then I ran into Mark Agnesi that same day, and I said, well, what the hell? I might as well ask him too. I'm on a roll here, so let's keep going. So I said, would you mind, walking through the custom shop stuff with me? And he was very cool about it. He said, yeah, no problem. But there was a band playing at the time that I asked him. So he said, let's wait till this band's done. I've got a meeting, because there was meetings going on in different rooms for Gibson with vendors and stuff. So he was going to go meet with some people, but he said, I'm going to come back here at 4:00 and we'll do it right there. And he was right true to his word. At 4:00, he showed up right where he said he would be, and he was ready to do the interview and ready to do the walkthrough. And really nice guy. I mean, I know he's gotten a lot of flack over some stuff. And the funny thing is, something just came out today that I saw about that video that he did about being authentic and the whole crap that he got about doing that. And that that article just came out today where Cesar, the CMO of Gibson, admits that he was the one that wrote that script and got Mark to do that video. So he's saying in this article, I'll show you right now. Let me just flick over to that screen if I can. We might as well do that. I can show you some stuff that I'm got interested in at NAMM. Let's see. Let me go back here. And where's my little window here? So there you go. So yeah, this story, well, it just came out today on my feed. I don't know if it was released, posted 11 hours ago, where Cesar, the CMO, I think, of Gibson, makes a statement here saying that one of the mistakes he did last year was having Mark do that video, and in hindsight, it was probably not the best idea, and Mark, took a lot of flack for it. And to Mark's credit, he never went around saying to anybody that this wasn't his ideal. He took the heat. He didn't go back and say, you know, this wasn't me, this was given to me and I had to do it. So, you know, and after having met Mark and having him been very gracious towards me and given me that interview and that to do that walkthrough with the custom shop and stuff, you know, he really is genuine. Of like people said, he's a nice guy and he knows what he's talking about. And it's too bad that he had to do that video and got all this shit that he did. But today we find out the truth of what happened, and it's good that Cesar came out and said something about it. Let's see. Let me go back here for a minute before we move on. Guitar Hack, how's it going? Nice to see you, brother. Dale Palmer says that was fantastic that Dave did that for. Yeah, I agree, Dale. I thought that was really cool. He's a really good guy, and just the fact that he gives people a chance, even though they're just small channels or whatever, is says a lot. And I think that's, you know, if a guy like me can talk about that experience that way, it only helps him as well. So, you know, smart businessmen and business people and companies know that, I think. Some less and some more, and the ones that do will do well because, you know, the community respects that. All right, let me see what we got. Brian S. says, I thought you interviewed like a pro. Oh, thank you, Brian S. Believe it or not, I never did it. I just kind of figured it out. Dale says sometimes you have to push yourself beyond the comfort zone. Yeah, that's the thing. It's the comfort zone thing, right? When you get in a comfort zone and you stay there, you don't grow and you don't really do anything else. So it was good to step out of that zone. Al John was a great interview. Oh, thank you, Brian S. Yeah, I thought he did a great job, and he was so enthusiastic about the line, obviously, and I would have to say, and let's go into that. Let me see here. Jamal says you definitely deserve more subs. Oh, thank you. Well, they're coming. I mean, it's a slow grind, and it's by posting more content and posting videos that are relevant to the community and that people want to see. That's going to grow the channel and going to get me the subs. So I don't do this for specifically getting subs or any of that stuff. I do it because I enjoy it, and when it becomes not fun anymore, I probably wouldn't do it. But it's nice to get recognized in some way sometimes when you put in all that work. So that's cool. Let's see. Okay, so I think I've got everything here. I didn't miss anybody. Thanks, Guitar Hack. Thanks. Really appreciate that. Jamal says Mark definitely took the heat better than Rob. Yeah, Rob Chapman is another story that I don't really know. Like, I know what everybody else knows, and it's really messed up, man. And I saw Rob Chapman only once at NAMM. I think it was a Thursday. Me and Ben were outside talking, and he walked by. He wasn't even in the exhibit hall. I think Chapman had another room somewhere, and they were doing stuff there, I suppose. So, but yeah, he's having a hell of a time right now. I don't know. Sometimes, things like that can ruin a reputation, a company, and he's got a company that he's running. So anyway, let's move ahead of that, and let's talk about Epiphone, because Epiphone really killed it this year. I think out of everything I saw at that show this year, and I'm a huge Gibson guy, I'm Les Paul, custom shops, that's where my go-to is. Epiphones, I appreciated what they were, but I never really gave them that hard a look. This year, folks, they are for real. I'm telling you right now, they are the best value in guitars, in my opinion, bar none. They've got great electronics in it. The finishes are spectacular. They're mirroring what the Gibsons are. So if you take a 50s Les Paul and you take an Epiphone 50s Les Paul from, the collection, I'm telling you, they're hard to tell apart. They really are. I know that pickups are different, but they are Gibson pickups, and I tried a few of them, and bear in mind I had headphones on through the Katanas that they had there. They played and sounded very, very good. I mean, on par with anything else I've played during that week. And we're talking about prices. This Les Paul Standard 50s gold top here, $599 US. Les Paul Special, $399. For what you're getting for those prices, I'm sorry, but nobody's touching that. Anybody that goes out and says, I'm buying a Harley Benton because I can't afford a Les Paul now, with knowing what Epiphone is putting out, you're crazy. I'm sorry. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It's really that big a deal. Like, you have to see them in person too, because I know we've all seen the videos, and you've seen my video, and you can tell a little bit, but until you actually see one in person and pick one up to see what that quality is all about is when you're really going to get it, because it is impressive. They've got every model, anything that you're interested in as far as a Gibson model. If you're interested into, 335s, they've got the SGs were just killer. I mean, some of the colors in the modern, or I think it was the Muse collection, they called it, modern Les Paul, it might be the modern SGs. Some of these colors, man, when you see these, and this one is spectacular. What is this one called, finish-wise? Transfaded black. I mean, holy shit. The pictures just don't do them justice. Even when I look at these things on the website here, I'm like, whatever. But when you see it in person, it's really impressive. And they all have Pro Buckers in them, CTS pots, necks feel amazing. They're all rounded too, where the fretwork is done. So they've gone the extra mile and really done some nice stuff. Let me see here. Can I show you anything else in that? Yeah, the Flying V, the Firebird, the Explorer. I mean, I'm telling you, out of everything I saw at that show, this was the stuff that I think really blew people away, and people weren't expecting it that much. And Epiphone was front and center. As you walked into the Gibson booth, they were, even before you even saw the custom shop stuff or anything, they were right there, front and center. So I think they're making a big push, and in my opinion, they're going to have a great year. Let me see. Am I missing anything? Paul said he bought a Muse. Yeah, those things, the finishes on those guitars were super cool. Really nice stuff. I don't know what color you got, Paul, but I mean, they were really nice stuff. DR Guitarist says, are the Epiphone Firebirds neck through or set neck? I think they are neck through, but I heard somebody say in one of the comments on one of my videos that it wasn't, but I'm pretty sure that somebody told me at the show that they are neck throughs. It doesn't say, does it? I'm just having a look here. Profile. It doesn't. I'm pretty sure that Al John told me this was the neck through, and in the video as he's going through the collection, he talks about it, and I'm pretty sure it is, but I don't want to misspeak about it, so I'll have to do a little bit more research on that one. Brad says he had an Epiphone Les Paul Standard 20 years ago, sold it, regret it. Yeah, even back then they were good, but I'm telling you right now, Brad, if you can pick up one of these new ones, and they are making left-handed ones, you can't go wrong, I'm telling you. You will be super impressed with it if you're looking for a Les Paul type guitar, or an SG, or a Firebird, or 335. I am definitely getting it. I'm not saying definitely, but I'm 99.9% sure that I'm getting that Jared Nichols guitar after having it played it this summer, and it's stuck in my head, and I played it again at Winter NAMM. The thing is unbelievable for me, and I like that big. It has a pretty big neck, so keep that in mind. If you are interested in that guitar, go try it, because it is a big neck guitar, but I like it. It felt great for me, and so I am on the hunt for that. Hopefully I'll have it in a few weeks. We'll see. Yeah, I think I might have to order it, because I looked on all the shops in my area and nobody has it in stock. So and I think it is a limited edition because they only made so much, and they're not going to be making them all the time. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what I heard. Epiphone told me they don't know if they are releasing. I'm pretty like when I spoke to Aljon at the show, he did say that they were doing that left-handed models. So definitely check it. Make sure. Tom R.I. says blues power. Yeah, that's what it says on that guitar, and I'm telling you, it is a beast, and it sounds amazing. That P90 in there is really special. One of the pedal companies that I saw was from this company, and it was there. I tried only a few pedals because I use a Helix most of the time, so I don't really, spend too much time with analog pedals. But this company, I went over to their booth and tried some of their stuff, and they were making some really good stuff. The company name is, it's VS Audio. So vsaudio.com is the website here. They've got some really cool pedals. Some of the features on these pedals, they're all true bypass. They're all analog circuitry. And the guy, I think they're from Greece. They do have distribution in the States and Canada, I believe. But they're making some really nice stuff, and I tried some of their delays and reverb. And the cool thing about their delays and reverb, they have like a built-in preset thing. So if you look at the knobs, there's like on this one, I believe this is a modulation, but there's a preset thing. So the way you do it is you set your pedal, you set your whatever you want here, your settings. Then you press both of these together, and then the little light flashes saying, okay, this one is saved. And I think you can save up to 6 presets. So as you cycle through your presets, you have it brings up different parameters for that. It was a really cool concept when I tried it, and it worked really well. It was easy to set. Like I just set something, I'd hit preset, it was saved. I would set something different, hit preset, save it, and I'd play along, and then I'd hit the switch. And it would just automatically change over, and it was really neat stuff. So, if you're a pedal guy and you're looking for some cool pedals that you might not have heard of, this VS Audio company to me really stuck out. And there's so many pedals at this show. I'm telling you right now, it's overwhelming how many pedal companies are there and how many products that you can go through. So I did see a lot of them. And this one stuck out. So VS Audio, if you have a chance, check them out if you're into pedals, because they make some really nice, stuff. And it wasn't too expensive. I mean, they're pretty much priced like anything, like MXRs and so forth. The other product that was pretty interesting to me was I've seen this company before. Their blue guitar. They have the little amp boxes. It looks something like the one you're seeing on the screen now. This is this was a beta version. It wasn't a released model or anything. You couldn't even try it because it was in a glass case. They were just showing a concept. So this will have a bunch of effects built in. It's all tube in there. I tried their other models, the ones that are on the market. I tried it while I was there, and they sounded really good. They've got one more classic rock vibe, and one is a more heavier type of metal vibe to it, and they sound really good. And it's a full amp right there. It's the amp and everything, so you just plug into a speaker or direct into your interface, and you've got everything in that one box, and it's all analog. And some of the effects they're putting into these, like the delays and reverbs and stuff, apparently are really, really good. And this model you're looking at here, it even comes with, it's not shown in the picture here, but there's an actual expression pedal that sits right next to it as well. So for your wahs and volumes built into this. So it's pretty neat little concept. It's almost like what Helix has done, but in an analog format. So guys that just want a nice compact solution to bring out when you're gigging or whatever, and have some of the features that you want in your effects, or if you want it all tube. This is a 100-watt amp. It pushes like crazy. So something to keep an eye out. It's called the Amp X, and I think it's going to be released this summer, if I'm not mistaken. But if you go to the stores and they carry this brand, blue guitar or whatever, try out their other products. It'll give you a chance to see what it's about. But But if you're going to buy that product or looking to buy, I would wait a little bit until the summer till they release this one, because this one looks pretty impressive with all the features that it will have if you're into that stuff. The other company that was really cool, Softtube, they make plugins. I tried their latest one, which was a Marshall head plugin, and they modeled it after Kerry King, and then the other one is a Plexi model. And I've tried some of these in the past. I've got some in my UA Audio, and they sound really good. But these new ones that I tried at the show, they're the ones that are coming out. They really sounded good. They sounded like super accurate. And the cool thing about it was, before you needed to have the UA audio interface to run Softtube plugins. Now they've gone away from that. You can still run them in your audio interface, but you don't need that. If you have a Focusrite, if you have any interface whatsoever, you just buy the plugin and you can run it in any software that you have, like your DAWs, with any interface. So you're not locked into using the universal audio interface, which is really cool. And their plugins, I'm telling you folks, they're really good. Like, for somebody who just wants to do some recording at home and doesn't have the budget to go buy amps and all this other stuff, you just want something you can bring up on your software and dial in a nice Marshall tone or something heavy. Companies like this are worth a look, because I've tried different plugins in the past. Some are like so, you don't always get it exactly right. Some sound very artificial or like a fizziness to them when you get into high gain stuff. These ones didn't. So they're doing something right, what they're doing with this stuff. So check out Softtube if you're interested in that type of product, plugins wise. They're definitely worth a look, because they sounded quite different than what I was used to hearing with other plugins. And I've used a lot of plugins. Just, I download them and try them as demos just to see what they're about and how it works, because I like to try a lot of stuff and to figure out what's good and what I really don't like. So Softtube, check it out. And the other big talk of the show was this product. Line 6 released their new, I guess it's kind of a mini Helix type of thing. It's called the Pod Go. It uses a lot of the same technology that's in the Helix, but it's done a little differently. It has less effects, but some of the effects that are in there are very like super high-end stuff, and it's the same ones that you would have in the Helix. And the way you make your patches, or the presets, are a lot easier to build, and you build them according to more like sounds, not rigs. So you say, okay, I want a rig that would sound like Jimi Hendrix or that tone or whatever. And it has kind of a preset that is built around that, like a template. Then it gives you a very close range to that sound or that tone. Then you go into the unit itself and you can, tweak it to your liking and adjust it. But it's a lot more simple as far as interface than the Helix to me is super simple, because I've used it quite a bit, but out of all the modelers that I've used, the Helix still is the most simple as far as interfaces, and this one is even simpler than that, if you can believe it. So that's something to check out if you're into that type of stuff. For me, it's not something that I'm drawn to because I have the Helix. If you've already got something like the Helix, this probably doesn't, unless you wanted something real compact and you were gigging, and this might be better than taking out a full Helix or something. Maybe that might work for you. So, but for me, I think, I do everything with the Helix right now, but I am looking at some other things and some people are going to shoot me when they hear this one, but I'm looking at some other things more amp wise. I've tried some stuff at the show that I was like, wow, this is really, it's different enough to get my attention. So there's a couple of amps. One is a Magnetone amp that pretty much blew me away when I tried that. And the other stuff, I had tried it before, and this is the Synergy stuff with the modules. I had tried it before, and I was not sold on it just because I don't know if I was using it correctly or I didn't give it enough of a chance or whatever. But when I went to the booth, I talked to them and tried a few things and actually understood how to use these things properly. And they were quite impressive. So I want to give those another go. So Cosmo, the store that I deal with here, sells them, and they've got them in the room and stuff, so I can set up a day and just go in and have them set up a couple of rigs, and I can go through each module now that I know how to use them and how they're set up and everything. So I want to give those things another chance. Not saying I'm going away from Helix or anything like that. This is still my main rig, but I'm intrigued. Let's put it that way. I'm very intrigued with some of that stuff. The Magnetone was just it's an expensive friggin' amp. It's like $2,000 for the head, but it is a special sounding amp. When I tried that, I was like, wow. Now I understand why Billy Gibbons is so high on those amps, because it does have that special feel to it. And it's more about the sound you can get. That's the thing with digital. You can get the sound. Trust me, I can get sounds out of the Helix that I love, everything. But when I try something like an amp, I'm getting the same sound from my Helix. I can get close enough to it that I'm fine. But it's that feel. There's something about when you hit that string and the feel that it has. I don't know if it's a sponging. There's just something. I can't even explain it. There's just something different. And the Helix and all that stuff is so close, but there's always going to be that little disconnect. So when I try stuff like that, it always gets my brain going, oh, well, maybe I should check some more stuff out. So it's dangerous. Let's put it that way. It's dangerous when I do that. But, I am intrigued by it, and I'm going to be trying some other stuff very soon. I'm not saying that I'm going to get it or anything, but it's fun. It's fun. All right, so that's cool. The other thing we're almost done. I just want to touch on this let me just change my camera angle here again. So in the past couple of weeks, it's funny because a lot of videos have come out in the last couple of weeks about string gauges and strings and so forth. And this is something I've been toying with for the last couple of weeks, of trying some heavier strings, and even before all these videos started coming out. And I ended up trying a pack of 11s, 11 to 52, I think. I put those are on my R9 right now. And then I tried some 10 to 52 as well. And they're on my custom. And then because I like both, like 11s are a little too much, 10s are not enough, so I needed that in between gauge. So I did find they're hard to find. 10.5 to 48 is what or 10.5 to 50, in that general area is what I was looking for. And I went on Sweetwater, and I did find Ernie Ball makes a set 10.5 to 48, so I did order them, and these are the ones that I ordered. And I got about 6 packs of these. So I put a pack of these on my R6, the gold top right here. And I think that's where I'm going to end up. They are pretty much where I want to be as far as the gauge and the feel. They do sound, the tone is a little different. It's a little bit beefier tone, but it's not, for me, that's not the main concern. It's not the tone, because I could get, similar tone using nines that I was using before, and be quite happy with that. But when I put the heavier gauge strings now I can really, it's a feel thing for me under my fingers, how it feels. And coming from being a bass player, I think that's where the whole thing is really geared for me, is I pick very hard, I press hard. So having light strings, to me, there's a disconnect almost. It's almost like I'm strumming through them, and they're not fighting me back enough to get a feel. And what I'm getting out of these heavier gauges is exactly that. When I hit a power chord or I'm striking the string, the tension on the string is just where I like it, because I can feel the resistance, and that's what I like to feel when I play. That's where I'm most comfortable. So that's what these heavier gauge strings are doing for me. So I think that's where I'm going to stay at. I'd like to get a set that is 10.5 to 50. These are 10.5 to 48, but the problem is they're hard to find. You can't just walk into any store and say, "Oh, give me 10.5s." You have to special order them. But fortunately, this Sweetwater sells them, and I'm sure there's some other places online you can just order them. These weren't expensive. They were like $5.99 a pack. So compared to what I was using the NYXLs, and they're like in Canada $15 a pack. So quite difference, and they really sound great. Now, I don't know if these are going to last as long as what my NYXLs lasted. I obviously just put them on the guitar about 3 days ago or whatever, and I've been playing pretty constantly, and they're still fine. But time will tell how long these will last. These are custom gauge nickel wound guitar strings from Ernie Ball. Mega Slinky is what they're called. 10.5 to 48. So thought I'd share that with you. And it's funny that recently all these videos are coming out about, debates on string gauges, and I've been trying to toy with that for the last month, and this is where I settled on for now. Let me go back to the chat real quick, and then we're going to call it a night because we are just past the 8 o'clock mark. How does it feel when you big bends on the first? So for me, it's actually better for me because I was over bending on the 9s and 9.5s. I tried 9.5s as well. Again, I press hard. I'm more aggressive when I pick. Coming from the bass, I was always a more, aggressive player, and that carried over to when I started playing guitar just, a year and a half or whatever it was. And I always felt that when I was doing bends that I was either like I really had to try to control it because I was always over bending, and I could hear those notes. With these, I'm hitting them pretty much. That's where my comfort zone is. I can bend. Yeah, they're going to be harder to bend than a 9, but for me, they're better for me because I hit the note a lot more frequently because the tension is where I expect it to be, I guess. So that's what I would say on 36 solo. James says he still loves his HXFX is a great unit, especially if you've got a real amp or whatever and you want to run some effects. You get one of those boxes and you get all your pedals right there. And the Line 6 effects are second to none in my opinion as far as the delays and choruses and stuff. They're bang on. Brad says I'm the opposite on bass. Play low action, light touch. Well, and yeah, I've always been very like digging into the pick and pressing hard on the fretboard was always something that I felt comfortable with. And I still do to this day. I didn't think I would, especially going to guitar. I thought, try to be a little bit lighter on the touch and everything, more accurate. But after playing I started in 2000, so I'm about 2 years in now. That was one thing that I was always struggling with is getting that feel. And I even use a real thick pick now. I've started using this gravity pick. This gravity pick is a 1.5 mil and it's like an acrylic. So you can't even bend this thing. And I'm very comfortable with it and using these thicker strings. So everything has gone like to a thicker, heavier, chunkier neck, bigger strings, heavy pick. That's where I've landed. And that it took me 2 years of playing to try different things and to experiment with stuff to get to this point, which is so weird because, you'd think you'd get there a lot sooner. Same thing with the tones and stuff that I'm getting out of my Helix. The first year of running the Helix, I was, it was okay, but I wasn't doing what I'm doing now with it and understanding it a lot more. And I'm actually using my EP Booster analog pedal through my Helix to give it that extra kind of analog feel as well. So things you learn as you get going with this stuff and you do more of it and you get more experience. So you just grow as a player and you find out exactly what you like. Listen, I had over 30 years of bass playing under my belt. I knew Ernie Balls. I knew the strings I liked. I knew the amps I liked. I had that down. But taking all that and just going into a whole new instrument and trying to become a guitar player with the tone that I had in my head and the feel that I had as far as what I wanted out of an instrument, it took me almost 2 years to get to this point. So it's all good. It's all part of the journey. Let's see. They will not. DR Guitar says they will not last as long as NYXLs, but they will be nicer on your frets. Oh, okay, good to know. Good to know. I could always make my own sets and buy singles. Yeah, that's another option I will look into. There's a company out of, I believe, Nashville. What is it called? Maybe DR Guitars know. They make some really, really good strings, and you can buy them custom sets and stuff like that. I know Phil McKnight spoke about them, I believe, on a show or something. So I'm going to check them out as well because I might do that. I might just do my own custom set. Every string exactly what I want. So that's one thing to check out if you're into that. Lars likes super slinkies on his Floyds. I don't have any Floyd Rose guitars. That's one thing I'm not experienced in, is Floyd Roses and those types of trems for sure. Let's see. Can't replace tube amps. Yeah, Guitar Hack. Yeah, it's weird, eh? You get into stuff, and sometimes you'll just try that one thing that piques your interest again, and that's what happened to me. I wasn't even looking at amps or anything, and then I saw that. I'm like, oh, let me stop by here and check these out. And there was a guitar sitting there, and the amp was there, and the guy said, hey, plug it in, try it out. Okay. And then you try it, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Guitar Hack says nines. Put that shit on everything. Cool. String Joy. That's what it is, Brad Miller. Yeah, I've got to check them out. Let me write that down before I forget it. String Joy. String Joy. Yeah. That's the company I heard about them, and they're apparently very good. I think Rhett says nines for... Yeah, Rhett changed as well. They did that video with Rick Beato about string gauges, and then went through all the gauges, and he figured out himself after playing a few different things that he really liked something different than what he was actually playing, which is good. You know, you should try some different stuff, and you never know. Like, I wasn't even going to go to something bigger than a 9.5. You know, I thought, why would I do that? Because it's going to be harder to play. I don't want to make things harder on myself. And it turned out to be exact opposite. These heavier strings and heavier pick make it easier for me to play than the old, like the lighter strings, which is completely opposite of what I thought it would be. So it's a good thing that I just said, screw it, I'm going to try all these things, try them out. And I did, and there it is. That custom with the 10 point, these right now it's 10 to 50, but I'm going to put these 10.5s on it. Super cool, man. It sounds amazing with those strings, and it feels really good. That's what I like about it. It feels great. That custom has become, and I hate to to say this in public, and thought I'd never say that. It's probably become my number one guitar. It surpassed my R9, I think. I play it more than my R9. It's unbelievable how much I bonded with that custom. And it wasn't something that I thought, like I always wanted a custom because I like the look and I like the feel of the neck and stuff. But I thought, you know, I just want to round out my Les Paul collection to be the 3 iconic models that I had in my head envisioned. And since I've gotten that guitar, I'm always playing it. It just sounds great. It feels great. So again, you never know. You never know. D'Addario for the win. Yeah, I like the D'Addario strings. They're just super expensive, and I couldn't find D'Addario 10.5s. I looked on the website, and they didn't have anything listed there. You can get 11s. I have 11 NYXLs on my R9 right now, believe it or not. So, but you know, if these do the job, or I go check out this String Joy company and I get a couple of sets from them, and they're just as good, maybe they don't last as long, which is fine, but at the cost that I'm paying for these compared to what NYXLs, I'm fine with that. I don't see that difference of a sound, to be honest. So let's see. All right, great Vanzini, thanks for dropping in. If you're not subbed to the channel, go ahead and do that. R9 sale. No, I didn't say I'm selling my R9. I just said that out of all the Les Pauls and stuff, that custom seems to have taken top spot. There's no R9 for sale. Don't get me wrong, the R9 is still an incredible guitar and probably one of the best guitars I've ever played in my life. It's just that right now I seem to be bonding with that custom more. Doesn't mean that any of these are going anywhere anytime soon. So let's see. All R's must go. No. The R9s and R6 are staying right where they are. Thrash Metal says 10s for him. Well, that's good. Once you find out what you like and what feels the best for you, that's an awesome experience because you know how to get to your tone. Well, I guess I should take this. What is this? Take that off of the screen. I can take that off of the screen. And let me go to media. Cool. Well, all right, folks, go check out Ben. And I've stepped on his toes enough here. There was a lot of content to get through. I just wanted to get through everything tonight. If you have any questions or anything for me that I wasn't able to answer here, send me a message go to my Facebook page. You can see the link there on the screen. If you're not subbed, and next Monday Night Ramble, and I think I'm be doing a couple of videos this week. I'm not sure if they will be releasing this week, but I have a couple of plans to do some stuff, especially with the P90 guitar. I've got a couple of things that I want to do. If I can get to them, I will do that, and you'll probably see some more videos coming out soon. But I think you've seen a lot of videos from me in the last week, so you can't complain. I think I put out in 1 week about 30 videos, or just under 30, so I think you've had your fill of me. So next Monday Night Ramble, if I do go live again this week, you'll see the notification. If you're subbed, then you're more than welcome to join in and have some fun. BB Maid, you're late. How are you? Nice to see you, brother. And yeah, I was happy to talk to Dave Friedman. So thank you, BB Maid, for egging me on to go do that. All right, Phil, we'll see you at 9 o'clock. Everybody jump into Ben's stream if you're not doing anything right now. And with that, we will call it an evening, folks. Have a great night, and we will talk to you next Monday, if not sooner. All right? Take care, folks. Go play some guitar.